Hi everyone, welcome to our session. Today's session is on the Bhagavad Gita. We are going to be talking about Satyaki, or also called Yuyudhana. Okay, and we are going to be referring to the book, the Bhagavad Gita, God Talks with Arjuna by Paramhans Yogananda. Okay, so the idea basically is to combine the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita with what we understand about energy through pranic healing, through Master Choka Sui, and also to kind of bring the scripture of the Bhagavad Gita into our life. Most of us, or many of us, have heard a lot of stories. So many of us have heard a lot of stories in the Mahabharata, in the Bhagavad Gita, but we don't understand what it is. And, sometimes we just think they're stories. But the more I read, or, the more we understand pranic healing and the more we understand, this particular book, we will understand how to bring it into our lives. Okay, so today's topic is the Archers of Discrimination, and we are going to be talking about a character called the Satyaki. Satyaki is also known as Yuyudhana, and what we are going to do is we are going to discuss the stories related to Satyaki. So, like I said, I had mentioned earlier that it'll become more and more story-like. So, we'll be talking about the stories associated with Satyaki, and in the process, understanding how spirituality works and how our mind works. Okay, here we go. Okay, so who is Satyaki? So if we look at the Bhagavad Gita, verse 4, 4 to 6, basically, this is the portion when Duryodhan has approached Dronacharya, his guru, and has basically told him to look at the army of the Pandavas. So Satyaki is part of the army of the Pandavas. What does Satyaki represent? Satyaki is also called Yuyudhana. So in the Bhagavad Gita, he is referred to as Yuyudhana. Okay. Now, Yuyudhana or Satyaki is basically divine devotion or Shraddha. So, what is the purpose of Shraddha? Shraddha is what fights disbelief or doubt. So, on the spiritual path, sometimes we have the situation where we are wondering, what am I doing? I'm giving up on my favorite things. What's going to happen? Um, but then again, when things start to go a little off, we are like, okay, God, please help, right? So that is Shraddha, divine devotion. Now, what also happens is that creation is the process, as we discussed in the last episode, episode 5, when we discussed Shantanu, the Parabrahman. We discussed how the process by which the Parabrahman actually comes down, 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 down into the material world, or it involves itself with matter. It involves itself, keeps involving itself with matter, and goes down to a very low level. And then again, it starts its upward force. So once it starts its upward force again, which is called evolution, which is back to God, which is, we came from God. We've heard this many times. We come from God, which is the process of involution into matter, and then it's the force of attraction back to God. So we are going back to God. Now, Satyaki or devotion is, what we use to help ourselves to go back to God. Now let's discuss some of the stories related to Satyaki. So Satyaki's lineage, so to say, he is of the dynasty of Lord Krishna. So he is a relative of Lord Krishna, and he has two best friends, Krishna and Arjun. Okay, so the beauty of this basically is to understand that Satyaki is already part of the Krishna consciousness in some ways. He's part of Krishna's family, and one of his tasks is to be the best friend of Arjun. So it's not like it's a task to be a best friend of Arjun, that's just how it is. So Arjun, if you remember, is the Manipur chakra, is the solar plexus chakra, as we discussed a few episodes ago. And that is the chakra that gets the support from divine devotion and evolves. Okay, so let's just see how this goes. Um, Okay, so he is also trained by Dronacharya. So one thing to keep in mind, and this is very interesting, is that all through the Bhagavad Gita, we see that Dronacharya or is the guru of the Kauravas, he's the guru of the Pandavas. Now, Dronacharya represents habits. So again, we had discussed this in one of our episodes called the 4Ds, where we talked about this. Dronacharya represents habit. So The point is that even divine devotion, okay, even divine devotion is trained by Dronacharya, is trained by habit. So, what that tells me personally is that divine devotion also, or Shraddha, is also something that is gradually trained within us by the force of habit, if I may say so, so that we are always constantly in the state of divine devotion. Okay, so let's explore this. Um, on the 12th day of the Kurukshetra, apparently, Yuyudhana or Satyaki defeated Karn but spared him. Why? Remembering the oath of Arjun that Arjun is going to defeat Karn. Okay. Now, one thing that I found very interesting when I read the Mahabharata is that, or the Bhagavad Gita, is that one level of warrior only fights another level of warrior. Okay. Now, let's say, for example, if a lower level of warrior is able to overcome, in, let's say, in normal life or in our understanding, is actually able to defeat a higher level warrior, why wouldn't they do it? Right? Why would you wait? Right? After all, it's a war. So the reason, this one of the reasons that I understand that it's to wait is because the Bhagavad Gita actually is about Kurukshetra, which is the war inside of us. And it's probably, the reason why the story is being explained is that it is probably difficult for divine devotion alone, who is Satyaki, to defeat Karn. Karn represents the attachment to material desire. Okay, so Duryodhan is material desire, and Karn is the attachment to material desire. So, what that basically means is that divine devotion alone is not able, or not, or does not overcome completely the attachment to material desire. Okay, so what that tells me is that sometimes when we decide, okay, I'm going to live a good life, I'm going to, give up my bad habits, and I'm going to just ask God to help me with this, or, I'm just going to be like, God, 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 please help me, please help me. It works. It definitely works. It does come to a point where Satyaki or divine devotion is in a position to overcome Karn, but does not entirely overcome Karn. Okay, so what I understand is that divine devotion is definitely required, but it is not enough to overcome Karn. Okay, now Karn is rescued at that time by Drone, Jayadatt, and Duryodhan. Now, Drone, as we already discussed, is habit, and Jayadrat is the inclination to be bound to the body. Okay, so once again, divine devotion is trying to get to a different level and is being stopped by habit, which is Dronacharya, by the attachment to bodily attachment inclinations, and is also being held back by material desire. So these three, Drona, Jayadatt, and Duryodhan, hold back Satyaki, hold back divine devotion, and they are not, divine devotion is not able to overcome Karn. Okay, so moving on. Satyaki is considered to be a valiant warrior, and he has stunned Dronacharya, by breaking his bow 101 times. So, to me, this is an indication of how divine devotion repeatedly, repeatedly, repeatedly is able to, stun the habit. So let's say we have a habit that we want to overcome, right? So there's, let's say, a habit we want to overcome. Now we keep repeating and we keep repeating and we keep repeating the effort, the habit to overcome that habit, and we keep repeating it, and we repeat it 101 times, is according to the Bhagavad, I mean, according to the story in the Mahabharata, not the Bhagavad Gita exactly, but the story in the Mahabharata. And, and all we are able to do is we are able to stun the habit, right? So what I find interesting in that is that what we are basically saying is that we are able to stun the habit, which means we are able to temporarily stop the habit. Okay, when you stun something, what does it mean? It means that thing is stunned, which means it cannot move for a certain period of time. So similarly, divine devotion, which is Yuyudhana, which is Satyaki, by repeatedly attacking, breaking the bow of habit, is able to stun a habit. So let's say, for example, I have a bad habit of doing something, and my divine devotion is going to be able to stop it for some time. but is not going to be able to completely overcome it. In order to completely overcome it, we have to go through the practice of inner reflection, the practice of building our character, which is something that the Bhagavad Gita is a manual for. Okay. Okay, what else? Um, so one more interesting thing here is that Satyaki, okay, just going back. So Satyaki was also when Arjun kills Jayadratha in the Mahabharata, it is noted that Jayadratha was protected at that point. So Jayadratha is body bound inclination was protected by the Vajra formation of the army, lotus and needle point. Now, again, those of us who are from the pranic healing and Arhatic yoga school, Vajra is divine energy. Okay. The lotus is sometimes referred to as, the Sahasra chakra, which is the crown chakra, and the needle point. So again, those of us who are familiar with the Bible, there's something in the Bible, I don't remember the exact quote, but basically it says, when thy eye be one, you can access, God. So the idea is that through the eye of a needle, when we can pass through the eye of a needle. Now, what that means to me is that when we do the soul affirmation, and we're going to do it right now, when we talk about all the bodies, when all the bodies are in one line, when they're aligned with each other, okay, that means even a needle can then the energy can almost pass through that in all those bodies in one line, and that is when we become aligned. Okay, so let's try that. Let's do this full affirmation. So let's close our eyes, connect the tongue to the palate, inhale slowly, exhale slowly. Let us invoke to the Supreme God. So be aware of the Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother. Be aware of the Father aspect and the Mother aspect. We humbly invoke for your divine blessings, divine guidance, divine love, mercy, inner healing, physical healing. Thank you for the inner strength to practice regularly. Thank you for your divine help and protection, for illumination, abundance, and prosperity. We thank you. Let's do the soul affirmation. I am that I am. I am not the body. So I am not Jayadratha, who is the attachment to bodily inclinations. I am not the body. I am not the emotions. I am not the thoughts. I am the soul. I am not the body. I am not the attachment to material desires. So I am not Duryodhan. I am not the thoughts and emotions. So I am not Dron. I am the soul. I am the Krishna consciousness within me. I am the soul. I am a spiritual being of divine intelligence, divine love, and divine power. I am one with the divine spark within me. I am a child of God. I am connected with God. I am one with God, and I am one with all. Let's just be aware of some habit that we have overcome or gotten close to overcoming. And let's be aware of the role of divine devotion, of Satyaki, of Yuyudhana in that process. Let's just be aware. Remember, we are discussing the archers of discrimination, the supporting army of the Pandavas, of the Pandav chakras. The supporting army is going to help the Pandavas to rise and to rise and to rise and to rise up to Krishna consciousness. Inhale slowly, exhale slowly. Gently open your eyes. So just to complete the story, Satyaki or Yuyudhana was killed in the Yadav brawl, which eradicated the entire kull of Krishna, which is called the Yadav dynasty. This was a consequence of the curse that Gandhari made to Krishna because Krishna was instrumental in, killing all the Kauravas. And the end of the Yadava dynasty started with a quarrel between Satyaki, which is divine devotion, and Kritavar. Now, one more thing that I wanted to just mention here, of course, it says here on the slide also, is that when the solar system began to get when the earth started to get populated and the solar system is now currently under its evolution, what happens is that we have highly evolved beings that come from other planetary systems, that come from other parts of the solar system, and they help to change the order on earth or in any other planet also. So perhaps Krishna was one of those highly evolved souls that were sent by the supreme god, or the planetary god or the solar god, to help the earth cleanse itself from the old clans, from the old beliefs, which is what the Kauravas represent, and to establish a new order of dharma, which is established by the Pandavas, who are also called the Aryans. So again, if you read the book, The Solar System, it talks about many races. And it also talks about how each race has a purpose of evolution and how beings come from other planets to help a certain planet by basically forming a race. So it's like, you have a father, you have a seeding, you have a population that is created, and then that population spreads, and the system on the planet is changed by that process. Okay, so what is important is to note is that Satyaki started the quarrel that ended the Yadava dynasty, which is something that Lord Krishna had wanted to do before his avatar on the planet ended. Okay, so what we have discussed today is basically the role of divine devotion. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to apply this. So, the Bhagavad Gita, in the first shloka, the blind king Dhritarashtra asks Sanjaya, Kim Kurvata O Sanjaya. So we're just going to go through this particular shloka. It says, this is the first shloka of the Bhagavad Gita. It says, Dhritarashtra Uvacha, which is the blind mind Dhritarashtra, okay, is asking, Dharma Kshetre, which is this particular body, our own body, Kurukshetre, so in this area where the war of the Kauravas and the Pandavas is going to take place, Samaveta, which means assembled here on this particular battlefield. So, who is assembled? The Pandavas in the form of the Chakras and the 100 Kauravas in the form of our vices. We are all collected in one place. We are all energy to fight, to have a fight. They are both mine. Okay, so this is the blind king Dhritarashtra saying, Mamakam Pandavascheva. So, my 100 Kauravas and the 5 Pandavas, Kim Kurvata, O Sanjaya, what did they do today? So what we're going to do is we're going to do a short inner reflection. This is one way to build our character. And the way we build our character is important in forming our destiny. So what we're going to do is we are going to close our eyes, connect the tongue to the palate. And we've discussed a few characters today, one of which is Drone, which is habit. We have discussed Satyaki, which is divine devotion. So let us take a few seconds and just think of something that we have done or that we do regularly, a habit or something, an attachment to material desire or an attachment to our body, something that we want to change. Let's think of how we handle the situation now. So suppose it's somebody who, really likes to dress up, and dressing up is good, but it's like, am I spending 3 hours over it? Is that good use of my time? So perhaps that's something I want to change. I don't want to spend so much time getting dressed up. Okay. Or anything that works for you. Honestly, it's just an example. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to think that, okay, I'm not going to spend so much time dressing up. So I'm erasing the drone aspect, which is the habit. See, there are good habits and there are bad habits, right? But at some point, In the Mahabharata, in the Bhagavad Gita, drone has to go, habits have to go. We are only left with Krishna consciousness, which is also what the soul affirmation does, right? So think of one habit that we want to change. So mentally erase the habit and then replace it with a new pattern of how we would like to do things. Perhaps we have a habit of bargaining with the vegetable guy for the last pesa. Perhaps that's something we'll stop doing. It's up to us. Inhale slowly, exhale slowly. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to discuss the school of pranic healing in very short. So when we talk about habit formation, there are many kinds of habits that we have. And in pranic healing, we have this really fabulous workshop called Arhatik Yoga, which is over here. I hope you can see my mouse. This is where we learn how to really, really overcome our habits. And, the school of pranic healing starts with basic pranic healing and advanced pranic healing, where we learn to heal our body, okay, our physical body. Then we have pranic psychotherapy, which helps us to heal our mental and emotional makeup. Then we have something called Achieving Oneness with the Higher Soul, which is a fabulous workshop for helping us to handle our relationships. Then we have Arhatik Yoga, which, like I said, is very super powerful in helping us to destroy our bad habits. Um, so one of the techniques, of course, is what we discussed, and this is one of the primary techniques both in Arhatik Yoga as well as in the Bhagavad Gita. So today we're just going to discuss the top line of this chart, and every episode we'll discuss another line of the chart. Okay, so with that, again, thank you so much. This is GMCKS Energy Transformers, and we are conducting a series on the Bhagavad Gita and pranic healing, trying to understand the Bhagavad Gita, which is called Energetically Speaking, through the techniques of pranic healing. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will have more episodes like this. So do subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Let's be aware of our crown, our heart, and our hands. Let's envelop ourselves and the entire planet Earth with blessings. Let's be aware of our role in the planetary evolution to become a better person. The way we become a better person is by using inner reflection, a technique that is revealed in the first shloka of the Bhagavad Gita. Let's bless ourselves with the ability to improve and to grow. Let's bless our homes. May divine devotion in the form of Yuyudhan or Satyaki, as he is also called, enter our home, help overcome bad habits, help overcome or at least partially control and stun bad habits in the form of Dronacharya. So divine devotion enters our home, stuns Dronacharya, almost defeats Karn, who represents the attachment to material desire. Let us allow the divine to enter our homes, to fill our homes with the Krishna consciousness, the consciousness of the Supreme God. Let's be aware of our entire body, all our chakras. We'll do a short meditation. Let's be aware of our crown chakra. Visualize the Krishna consciousness, the divine devotion in the crown chakra, going down into the forehead chakra, going down into the area to our entire head, going down to our neck. Let's remember that our neck or our throat is from where words come out. So let's bless ourselves with good words, with words of devotion and divinity. Let's bless our entire heart area with love. Let us also recall that love is also discipline. Sometimes discipline involves being firm. Let's allow the Krishna consciousness, the divine devotion, Satyaki, to descend down through our solar plexus close to Arjun. Remember, Satyaki and divine devotion are good friends of Arjun. The solar plexus chakra going down to Nakul and Shahadev, the sex and the basic chakra, and all the way down to our legs and our arms. One of the thoughts in the pranic healing school is that service is active meditation, which means that when we serve other people, which we do with our hands and by moving our feet, we are actually serving the Supreme God. Let us have that energy enter our body to fill every chakra so that we can move confidently towards our financial targets with our hands and our legs. We can build our health with pranic healing techniques, revive and vitalize all our chakras. Let us practice good relationships through our heart chakra and our solar plexus chakra, and spirituality by singing the praise of the Supreme, being aware through our head and our brain and our crown of the Krishna consciousness in each one of us. Inhale slowly. Exhale. Let's also be aware of the targets that we have set for ourselves. Let's bless those targets, our goals, and our desire to practice the awareness. Dhritarashtra Uvacha Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yayutsavaha Mamakum Pandavascheva Kim Kurvat O Sanjaya. Let us learn this shloka and let's practice it every single day, being aware of what our chakras and our vices did today. Okay, let's massage our face. Yeah, I know we don't want to come back to the body, but we need to come back and do what we need to do on planet Earth. So the Krishna consciousness is here to help us do our work and to evolve with the planet. Okay, so let's massage our face. If you're still blessing, it's okay. Your neck, those of us who are done, shoulders, arms, the chest, the liver, the spleen, the kidneys, the thighs, the knees, all the way down. So that was our session on Satyaki, the first one of the Archers of Discrimination. So basically, we are going to be going into the characters one by one, a few characters, not all of them. And this is because the understanding of what the characters represent, I feel, is really important for us to actually bring the Bhagavad Gita into our life. I know a lot of people have a copy of the Bhagavad Gita and they keep it in the temple and they pray with it. That is great. I think now when we are entering the next yuga, we are entering the Dwapar Yuga, to the best of my knowledge and my understanding, based on Master Cho's teachings and the teachings of Sri Yukteswar Giri, called the Great Year, as talked about in the Holy Science. It is my understanding that Kali Yuga is now over. We are now in the next Yuga, and that Yuga is about mental consciousness developing and mental consciousness growing. So now we need to move the Bhagavad Gita from being just a book in the temple to being something that we practice every day. So that's the idea. Okay. So I hope you enjoy it. Do subscribe to our channel and let us know your feedback. Let us know what we can improve and let us know what you liked. Encouragement is always good, even for us. Thank you. So the question someone has asked is, how do we control our senses? I wish there was a shortcut. There was just a way to say, here you go, pop a pill, and here you go. But there are certain techniques that are there in pranic healing and Arahatic yoga, which help us to control our senses. And you can learn that in the process of Arahatic yoga. So you can inquire at a local center where they teach basic pranic healing and above. And of course, what we are going to be doing is through the text, the Bhagavad Gita, we are going to be covering all the different senses and how they function and in what order we can go about. I wouldn't say controlling our senses, but I would say using our senses for, helping humanity. One thing is to use our senses to just enjoy ourselves, which is fine. It's a good idea to eat and enjoy and, wear good clothes and just, enjoy life. But there's also another aspect, which is to enjoy life at a different level. And we are just going to explore that through the Bhagavad Gita. So one of the understandings that I have is that when we do things as a soul, even if I'm just eating chocolate cake, if I'm aware that it is I, the soul, who is eating that chocolate cake, using my senses of touch, because I'm touching it, taste, smell, sight, and I'm enjoying the entire experience, but I'm aware that it is I, the soul, who is eating this cake and not I, Sheetal, who is eating that cake. That is how we basically develop soul consciousness. And that is what I understand the great teachers mean when they say living with joy. Because when we go through every experience with the awareness that we are actually the soul and not what is happening and not the material stuff, that's when actually we grow. So I'm still working on it. So I hope you can also join us in this journey, and we'll all grow together. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you soon. Bye.